Why Allen Iverson is called the Answer. Allen Iverson, often referred to as the Answer, is one of the most iconic and influential basketball players of all time. He was known for his electrifying style of play, his fearless attitude on the court, and his ability to take over games with his scoring ability. However, one of the most interesting aspects of Iverson's career is the nickname that he earned, the Answer. In this video, we'll explore the origins of this nickname and what it means for the legacy of Allen Iverson. Before we begin, do well to click the like and subscribe buttons to show your support. To truly understand why Iverson is called the Answer, we need to go back to his early years in the NBA. Iverson was drafted first overall by the Philadelphia 76ers in 1996, and he quickly established himself as one of the most exciting young players in the league. He won Rookie of the Year honors in his first season and followed that up with several All-Star appearances and title wins in the years that followed. Despite his success, Iverson's 76ers team struggled to make deep playoff runs. In fact, they missed the playoffs altogether in Iverson's second and third seasons. However, everything changed in the 2000-2001 season when Iverson led the 76ers to the NBA Finals. Along the way, he put together some of the most memorable performances in NBA history, including a 52-point outburst against the Toronto Raptors in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. It was during this playoff run that Iverson earned the nickname the Answer. The story goes that during a press conference, a reporter asked Iverson about his frequent use of the word practice. Iverson had missed some team practices during the season, and the reporter wanted to know if Iverson felt that his absence from practice had hurt the team's chances. In response, Iverson famously said,
"When you just talk about practice, we sitting in here, I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice. Not a game. Not the game that I go out there and die for and play every game like it's my last. Not the game. We talking about practice, man."
This quote quickly became a meme in the sports world, and Iverson's practice rant became the stuff of legend. However, it wasn't until the 76ers playoff run that the true meaning of Iverson's words became clear. The 76ers were a scrappy underdog team that relied heavily on Iverson's scoring and playmaking ability. They weren't the most talented team in the league, but they played with a sense of urgency and passion that was infectious. In a way, they were practicing for their moment in the sun. And when that moment finally arrived, it was Iverson who led the way. He averaged 35.6 points per game in the finals against the Los Angeles Lakers, including a 48-point masterpiece in Game 1 that will forever be remembered as one of the greatest individual performances in NBA history. The 76ers ultimately lost the series in 5 games, but Iverson had proven that he was one of the best players in the league and that he had the ability to carry a team on his back. It was after this playoff run that Iverson's nickname really took hold. The Answer became a shorthand for Iverson's ability to solve problems on the court and to come up with clutch plays when his team needed them most. He was the answer to the 76ers' problems, and he was the answer to any team that tried to stop him. But there was more to Iverson's nickname than just his ability to score and make plays. He was also a cultural icon, a symbol of the hip-hop generation. As Iverson's star continued to rise in the NBA, he became known not just for his basketball talent, but also for his off-court persona. He was a product of the streets of Hampton, Virginia, and he carried that tough, streetwise attitude with him wherever he went. He was a fashion icon, known for his baggy clothes, flashy jewelry, and signature cornrows. He was a rapper, releasing several albums and collaborating with some of the biggest names in the industry. He was a cultural ambassador, bringing the style and attitude of hip-hop into the world of professional sports. Another reason why Allen Iverson is called the Answer is because he answered the question of whether a small player could make it in the NBA. Standing at just 6 feet tall, Iverson was not your typical basketball player, but he proved that size doesn't matter when it comes to heart, determination, and skill. He dominated the league, averaging 26.7 points per game over his career, and he won 4 scoring titles showing that he could hold his own against the best players in the game. Iverson's style of play was also revolutionary. He was lightning quick, with incredible agility and footwork that made him almost impossible to guard. He was a master of the crossover dribble, which he used to break ankles and leave defenders in the dust. He was a scoring machine with a fearless attitude and a willingness to take on anyone, no matter how big or talented they were. But Iverson was more than just a scorer. He was also an incredible playmaker, with a knack for finding the open man and making the right pass at the right time. He averaged 6.2 assists per game over his career, and he was a skilled defender with quick hands and great anticipation that allowed him to get steals and disrupt opposing offenses. Off the court, Iverson was also an important figure in the fight for social justice. He spoke out against police brutality and racial inequality, using his platform as a superstar athlete to draw attention to these important issues. He was a trailblazer, paving the way for other athletes to use their voices and their influence to affect change in the world. In addition to his success on the court and his impact off the court, Iverson also had a magnetic personality that drew people to him. He was always authentic and genuine, never afraid to be himself and speak his mind. He had a charisma and a charm that made him one of the most beloved players in the league, even among those who were not fans of his team. One aspect of Iverson's career that often goes overlooked is his impact on the sneaker industry. Iverson was one of the first basketball players to have his own signature shoe, the Reebok Question, which he debuted during his rookie season in 1996. The shoe became an instant classic with its unique design and innovative features, and it helped to establish Iverson as a major force in the world of fashion and streetwear. The Reebok Question was just the beginning of Iverson's partnership with Reebok. Over the years, he released a series of iconic shoes, including the Answer 1, Answer 2, and Answer 3. Each shoe was designed with Iverson's unique style and personality in mind, and they quickly became must-have items for sneakerheads and basketball fans alike. In addition to his impact on the sneaker industry, Iverson also had a profound impact on the way that basketball is played. He helped usher in a new era of positionless basketball, where players are not limited to traditional roles based on their height or position. Iverson was a point guard, but he played more like a shooting guard, with a scoring mentality and the ability to create his own shot from anywhere on the court. He paved the way for other players to do the same, including current superstars like Stephen Curry and James Harden. Another reason why Iverson is known as the Answer is because he was always willing to take on any challenge, no matter how daunting or difficult it seemed. He was never afraid to fail, and he never shied away from the spotlight. He played with an intensity and a passion that few players can match, and he inspired his teammates and fans to give it their all every time they stepped on the court. All of these factors contributed to Iverson's nickname, The Answer. He was the answer to the question of what a modern NBA superstar should look and act like. Of course, Iverson's legacy is not without controversy. He was famously arrested in 1997 for his involvement in a bowling alley brawl, and he was accused of being a bad influence on younger players during his time in the league. He clashed with coaches and teammates, and his sometimes selfish play style was criticized by some. But for all his faults, Iverson remains a beloved figure in the basketball world. He inspired a generation of young players with his fearlessness and determination, and his influence can be seen in the way that the game is played today. He was a pioneer, pushing boundaries and breaking down barriers, and his legacy will be felt for generations to come. In conclusion, Allen Iverson's nickname, The Answer, was not just a catchy moniker or a clever marketing gimmick. It was a reflection of his ability to solve problems on the court, to carry his team on his back, and to inspire a generation of young players with his style and attitude. Iverson's legacy is complex and multifaceted, but one thing is clear. He will forever be remembered as one of the greatest and most influential basketball players of all time. The answer was a fitting one for Allen Iverson. He was the answer to so many questions, including whether hip-hop culture had a place in professional sports. He was a pioneer, a trailblazer, and an inspiration to millions of people around the world. He was and still is a true legend of the game, and his legacy will continue to inspire generations of basketball players and fans for years to come. Iverson's nickname is a nod to his incredible talent and skill as a basketball player. He was a once-in-a-generation talent with a combination of speed, agility, and raw talent that made him one of the most electrifying players to ever step on a basketball court. He had a unique ability to create shots and finish in traffic, and his scoring ability was matched only by his incredible court vision and passing skills. In conclusion, Allen Iverson's nickname of The Answer is a reflection of his impact on the game of basketball and on popular culture as a whole. He was a trailblazer, a pioneer, and an inspiration to millions of people around the world. He answered the questions of whether a small player could make it in the NBA and whether a player could be successful while staying true to his roots. He was, and still is, a true icon of the game, and his legacy will continue to inspire basketball players and fans for generations to come. Do you think Iverson really deserves the name The Answer? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Alright guys, we've come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, do well to click the like and subscribe buttons so you don't miss out on any of our content.